All right, good morning, everyone, and welcome to the podcast. We're in a little bit of a different location. You probably see that from where normally we're coming to you from Belle Vernon Area High School in Belle Vernon, PA. And that's because our guest today is Quinton Martin. Quinton is a running back, a junior running back on the Belle Vernon football team, the WPIAL and PIAA state championship football team. And he's a five-star national recruit. And we're going to have a conversation with him about what that process all looks like. And also joining us to my immediate left is his uncle Shawn Martin and Aunt Deanne Martin. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
Thanks
for having us. Thanks.
This is pretty cool.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Pretty cool.
It is.
Yeah.
Well, we've been trying to do this for a while. We were scheduled, and then you had to go to Miami, right?
Yeah.
For a 7-on-7.
7-on-7 tournament with the Trillium boys. Yes.
Yeah. How was that? How was that experience? Because these are all national type kids too, right?
Yeah, it was very fun. You know, I got to see what it was like to compete against guys with the same exact talent I have, you know, and some of them are bigger than me. So it was definitely an experience to remember, getting to play with them and getting, you know, to be on that stage with that type of talent.
That's very cool. That is very cool because now you are nationally, you're a top 30.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 5-star. I've been doing this a long time. And I remember when he played, you know, so that's how old I am. And I don't remember too many 5-star kids, if any, coming out of that. I'm talking about the Mon Valley, right? Not Southwestern PA, but the Mon Valley. I mean, we've had some great athletes come through here, some great Belle Vernon, you know, Jason Murray and some others, you know. But I don't remember a player that has reached that level on a national scale. That's a pretty big deal.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
How does that work? Now, you're 16 years old, right? You're a junior, okay? So you get a lot of attention.
Yes.
I mean, I see it. I mean, I've been blessed to be able to follow the team and come to your games and see you play since your freshman year. And all that stuff's legit. You earned every bit of that, every one of those stars, so to speak. You earned that, young man. So, but what is it like in your day-to-day as you go? You're no longer a normal teenager, man. It's just that ship sailed, right? So how does that do for you?
I mean, to be honest, at home, it's no different. You know, to my uncle and aunt, I'm just a normal kid. You know, they've been raising me since I was 7, like you said. But outside of the house, you know, it's a lot of responsibility. You know, there's a lot of little kids and a lot of people in the Belle Vernon community that look up to me. So I have to do my best to be the best person that I can be at all times.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Do any of the little guys ask you for autographs? You ever get that?
Yeah, a lot. Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time somebody asked you for an autograph?
Yeah.
When was it?
Ohio.
Yeah, Ohio State. Yeah, I was on a visit at Ohio State, and a young kid, he asked me for my autograph, and I gave it to him.
We went inside their indoor facility.
Yeah.
And we were just walking. It was me and him and our two other with my two other kids. And as we're walking past, because they had like some type of community activity day.
Oh, okay.
So they were playing baseball, football in there. And when Quentin walked past this kid over there, he had a football. And he immediately came up to Quentin and he said, "Can I have your autograph?" And we all just stopped. And I just looked at Quentin. Quentin was like, "Sure." Quentin got so Quentin gave him his autograph, and we were saying like, that kid's smart right there, but he's getting everybody that
There
comes
you
past
go.
him.
That's exactly right. That is exactly right. You know, that is so cool because, listen, I'm 63 years old. No, my kids haven't even asked me for my autograph yet. Except, you know, so that's pretty cool. You know, to have all that come at you. Is it slowing down for you? I'm sure it was like really coming at you really fast in the beginning, but now you've been in this for a couple of years now. So are things slowing down?
I wouldn't say slowing down. You know, I'm still very noticeable, like in the public.
Right.
But it definitely has calmed down a little bit.
Okay.
You know, not many people asking me for autographs or pictures when they see me. Because,
respect your privacy a little bit more? Yeah.
Respecting my privacy.
Sure.
And they don't want to get told no. So that's where that stands at.
Well, that's good because that I can tell just from your demeanor being around you that it's hard for you to say no.
Yeah, it is. I want to be nice. You know, I want to make a little kid's day if they ask for a picture. You know, I want them to go home to their mother or father and say, "I got a picture with Quinton Martin."
Yeah.
You know, that makes my day.
And I've seen you on social media. Like I said, I follow you. I'm friends with your aunt and uncle, and I follow your stuff. And I've seen you with the little kids, and that's just like, that's a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah, it is. And some of the kids be my age asking me for a picture. You know,
That's
so
like you know what? That's when we were at the Elizabeth Forward game, and after the Elizabeth Forward game, I went down there and I was just checking on Quentin to make sure that he was, how he was feeling, physically after the game. And there was a couple players from their team that came out.
No way.
And they wanted autographs from him and take pictures. Do you remember that?
Yes, I do.
And I was
remember
like, weren't those kids just playing? And
Just
he's
playing
like,
against
yeah.
you,
And I was
yeah.
like, well, that's just showing respect.
That's respect. That's
That's showing
exactly
respect. And then at the end of the day, we're all from the Valley.
Yep.
All schools involved.
Yep.
And that's just it. So it was nice. It was like, wow, that's pretty cool, man.
Yeah, it is.
No.
Yeah, it is. So just get to you guys for a second. What's this journey been like for you guys from your perspective? Watching this young man. Again, you've been raising him since he was 7. He said. So what's this been like for you?
Sometimes it's surreal, because I still see him as this little 7-year-old, and people see him differently than I do, and they talk about him. They're like, "Oh, Quentin," and I'm thinking, yeah, I wish he would clean his room. But it's been good. It's been a learning experience for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It's been a pleasure, and we're grateful
Right.
that he's had the opportunity that he does have, and anything we can do to help him grow and be a better person, whatever it takes, we're
Sure.
going to do that.
Sure. Well, now, Unc.
Yeah.
Now, I already know you taught the young fella everything he knows, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
that's, thank goodness he had you, because you had some moves back in the day.
Yeah, a little bit. You know what? To be honest with you, more so what he does on the field, I see that coming because that's something me and his father have done. But to me and his father, we said that it's like he's both of us put in one.
Right.
So
No, that's very true.
It
That
is
is very
100%,
true.
and it's just like, when people are watching him score this touchdown, I'm watching how he's holding the ball, and I tell him all the time, the biggest thing is make sure you finish strong. Don't let up on there, because there may be that one kid that's going to chase you all the way down to the end.
Yeah.
So, sitting back and seeing his developing and the stuff that he's doing, and he, I can honestly give him a lot of credit that at a young age, he did commit himself to pushing himself, getting up, working out nonstop. I mean, the kid loves going.
Yeah,
to
you've
the
always
gym.
been a workout guy.
Oh
huh?
my, he loves it.
It's my escape, most
Yeah.
definitely. I feel just free when I'm there, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
No, it does. It makes perfect sense. I mean, you get, for a lot of guys, me included, I used to go to the gym all the time. It's kind of a place where you can just tune everything out and just focus and just be you, just be a guy in a moment.
Exactly.
That's cool. Mm-hmm. That is cool. And you could tell you work out a lot because you're very lean. You're not. If people say, a kid's 6'3", 200 pounds, right? And I don't know if that's right, but I know I read that during the season somewhere. But you don't look like 200-pound kid sitting here, right? Mm-hmm. Because you're lean, you're really put together, and I think that's to your advantage, right? Because that you got moves, but you can go in and knock some folks over too.
Of course. If I have to, I will. But honestly, I prefer not to.
I don't blame you for that.
Yeah, he avoids it at all costs. He's not that headbanger type like how I was,
Yeah.
He tries to avoid the situation if need be, So, I mean, watching his developing every year and what he does on the field and off the field, it's been rewarding, and it's definitely a blessing, he's a 5-star outside of the house, but in the house, he's still nephew. He's still one of the other children.
And you have 3 other kids, right?
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Yes. We have his sister, Ashari. We have our son, Logan. And then there's Caleb. Caleb will actually be a freshman coming up.
Okay, now, I don't know if you remember this or not, but Deanne and I worked in a concession stand together
Okay.
at a JV game.
Okay.
And Caleb was in there.
Right.
Yes.
And my man's ornery.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
And I bet he gives you some trouble.
Oh yeah.
Who, Caleb?
Yeah.
He has no filter. That is Quentin's lifetime management recruiter placement, and he does not mind calling any coach out on
I
any
can
BS.
tell that.
Oh my
He don't
gosh.
care who the coach is. He don't
Yeah.
care who it is. He will say, "Whoa, what about this right here?" He didn't go to the league, coach. He didn't go to the league. Why
I
ain't that
love
kid
that.
starting? So I mean, that's where he is at with his.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So now you're in your junior year. You've played some ball the last 3 years.
Yes, sir.
You guys went deep into the playoffs. Obviously, this year was one of those magical runs. It's like, you're going to come back next year. So I'm not going to say it was a once in a lifetime season because I know you're going to do it again, and
Yes, sir.
that's cool, right?
Yep.
But tell me a little bit about that journey when you guys started out this year. We started off a little rough, and you knew it was going to be rough, right? Because you had a tough exhibition schedule.
Yes.
You guys played, and I love the schedule that you guys played. You didn't back down from anybody, okay? So you went out there, and the first couple games you struggled a little bit, and then you're hearing that, it's the AAA thing, right? They're 3A. That's why, So did you guys hear that all season? And then when you got on that run and started winning, and everyone was saying, "Oh, you're winning because it's they're 3A." Were you hearing that?
Yes, we most definitely were hearing that. Some people say they can only win because they went 3A. But in my eyes, we're all playing the same sport.
Right.
No matter what.
Yep.
Like, we're all putting on that helmet and going out there on the field playing the same sport.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be honest, I used to clown my uncle about playing 1A ball back in the day.
Yeah, and that's in California.
Yeah.
There you go.
But now I know what he means. Like, when you're on that field, you're all playing the same game. They're all going to try to beat you down to the best of their ability, and you're going to do the same thing. So they were definitely, a lot of people were definitely in our ear about that, but I don't think that really fazed us. And the beginning of the season, we did have a rough 2 games versus McKeesport and Penn Trafford, and I feel like that's what woke us up.
Right.
Like, we had to get on our stuff.
Both of those were winnable games.
They were, 14-7 game, and then another
14-13 or something like that?
14-13
Yeah,
game. So those are 2 heartbreaking losses. So after that, we had a team meeting, and they said no more losing, and that's where it went from there.
You guys, and you guys were a team. Listen, I'll tell you, you want to know what, and I've read all the newspaper clippings, right? I followed you. I love these 2 people right here because these are good people, and you're being raised by good people. But the best thing I've ever heard about you, okay, the best thing anybody, and the only thing I needed to hear about Quinton Martin, all right, Caleb Horner, my grandson. Caleb said, "Pap, I will tell you this about Q. He treats me the same as anybody else." Now, Caleb's a freshman. He only gets in games when you guys are up 50, okay, because he's just starting out. I mean, he was away from football for a long time, But when he told me that you're the best teammate he ever thought possible because you treat him no different than anybody else on the team.
Good.
That's all I needed to hear about you. True story. I'm telling you that from here.
Thank you.
So that to me is that's good stuff, man.
Thank you.
That's
I
good
really
stuff.
appreciate it.
Hold on to those types of things.
Of course.
All right. So when did you get your first offer?
I got my first offer in February my freshman year.
Really?
Yes, that was my first offer. Coach Humbert, he told me that Pitt wanted to talk to me, and I didn't really know why, but I had an idea. So they hopped on the phone with my aunt and uncle, and they said they wanted to offer me. And at
this point, you're like 14 years old, right?
Yeah.
Which is awesome.
I started crying.
started
I got
crying.
emotional.
Did you
were
really?
shocked.
Yes,
Oh
he
yeah.
did.
Oh yeah.
That's
At
awesome.
100, it was just, that was probably one of the
Yeah,
most memorable
absolutely.
days of my life.
Yeah.
Absolutely. That is very cool, man, because, those guys, they don't just throw that stuff around, right?
Right.
They saw something even back then, that because those things are like priceless.
Yeah.
You only get so many of those. Every program only gets so many. What you guys think of that?
We were shocked, definitely shocked. So early, I mean,
Yeah.
I seen that developing, eventually, but freshman year, that was just like a lot, you know,
Right.
like I was like, oh my gosh. And then it seemed like it was happening. And, you know, at this point, now
man, this
he
is
actually,
real.
yes, now he actually sees that he can go to the level that he would like to go to and
Right.
play if he keeps doing what he's going to do.
You got to stay focused. So you're pretty involved in this building outside of sports too, because I was up here for a Veterans Day program, and you're in the chorus.
Yes, I am in the chorus.
He's in the chorus all the time, in the school, in the shower, all the time. Taking garbage out, it don't matter. He's always in the chorus.
I love to sing. You know, I've always loved to sing.
Yeah.
And
Who's your favorite artist?
Rod Wave. He's my
Okay.
favorite artist. I'm not sure if you know him.
I
but
do.
Yeah.
Listen, dude, I got grandkids, man.
Yeah.
I get it. I got to stay on top of that stuff.
That's probably my favorite artist. I love singing Giveon. I'm not sure if you know him.
Go ahead.
I like
I'm
singing
with you.
him a lot.
I'm with you.
But I've
I'm a lot
always
cooler than I look, you.
Yeah.
Give me some credit. You know?
I've just always been a singer, and
You
that's
just think I was going to say Elvis or something.
Yeah, right.
You
I
know,
don't know.
that's all right. So you've always liked that.
yeah. Ever since I was a little kid, probably
Mm-hmm.
around like 5, you know, I've just always sang, even if I couldn't. Like at some point in time, I knew that I was going to be able to, and I just gained the confidence. So I joined chorus, and I liked it ever since.
That's really cool. That is really cool, and it's great to see you involved in activities like that. Because I mean, you got football is all consuming, and then you go into hoops, and and listen, you're not playing for an easy coach on up there in that room right up there. I mean, Joe's. I coached against him. He's pretty intense.
Yeah, Coach Joe Sullivan, you know, he's a character.
He is.
You know, when he screams,
He's a hell of a coach.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
When he screams at us, it's funny, but then you got to take him seriously because you know he doesn't play. He'll put you on a line, and he always gets his way. So
Well, he's been there and done that.
Yes.
You know, we had some battles with him when I was here at Belle Vernon and he was at Menneson. When we were good and they were good, they were good a lot more than we were. But we had a couple of years we were pretty good. So we had some real battles with them. So you had your first offer at as a freshman. Wow, that's awesome. So how many offers you had now? You're up over 20.
yeah, I have 23 total.
23 offers. I'm not going to make you list them. That's a lot. That is a lot. But these are all, and I mentioned this to Shawn. I'm not sure you can make a bad choice, number one. So, I mean, I think that's a blessing it's a blessing and a curse, right? That you have all of these offers. It's nice because you get a lot of choices, right?
Yeah.
But it's got to be stressful because you have so many choices.
Exactly.
You know, it's 6 one, half dozen the other.
It is, but I feel like the end game, what I'm going to look for in a college is who has the best education for me.
There you go.
Do I feel at home at that place, and who's going to give me the best opportunity in doing something for myself in football, you know, and something that I pursue very heavily in, you know what I mean?
Sure. You know, listen, young fella, there are Heisman winners
Yeah.
that never played in the NFL, never made the league, right? So, I mean, you can play this next level at the highest level possible, and that's it. You know, so you've got to be prepared for what comes after that. If that's not the league, what is that? What's that look like? You know,
if I don't end up making the league, I'm not very sure what I'm going to do at this very point in time. You know, I feel like that will come in time.
right.
As
The thing is, you don't have to decide now.
Yeah, right now I still have a little bit more time to decide, but that's definitely where my head's at.
Good.
You know, making it to the point where I want to be, where I wanted to be since I was a little kid.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have that goal. And it's also good to know that, you know, you got something over here too.
Yes.
You know, so you had an amazing season. You guys just really, again, we talked a little bit about, you know, started off, struggled a little bit, but then you really hit your stride. I mean, you guys just, you know, once you got into conference play and even into the playoffs, I mean, you were hitting on all cylinders.
Yes, we were. I feel like we were so just dedicated to football and to each other that like we had the mentality that no one's going to beat us.
Everybody bought in.
Yes.
You know, you guys all bought in. You were a real team. That was a team. You know, everybody, you got a lot of the press, right? A lot of the accolades, and rightfully so. You had a tremendous season, but your team stepped up.
Yeah, yes, they did 100%. You know, I did, like you said, I do get a lot of the press, but the press forgets about players like Stevie Mancheska, Braden Locks, Colton Lee, Jake Jedico. You know, everybody on that team was a huge factor in our success.
Yeah, and you know, there were times where, and just about every game, I think you were schemed against, right? Everybody keyed on you, but every single time your teammates stepped up. They had your back. They always stepped up. You know, Jake Jedico for a couple of games had monster games. You know, when the defense was keyed to take you away. You know, so you got a team around you, man.
Yeah, I did. You know, we always had each other's back, and I'm very grateful for them because I wouldn't be where I am without them.
Yeah,
at all. So,
but you didn't get to do the ketchup thing this year, though.
Ketchup or the Hershey bar.
The Hershey bar, yeah.
We didn't get none of that.
Neither one. That's all right. Well, you still got
the trophies.
Still got the trophies. That's all that matters.
In the end, we got the end game. So
that's exactly right. So, I mean, you're pretty much old hat on Heinz Field, and that's like your home field.
Yeah, it's the second year in a row.
Yeah.
Well, I plan on making a third too. So
there you go. I like to hear that. And man, you had a great game. You really did. And Braden played well. And you guys really, I think that was your best game of the season. I really do, because Avonworth was no joke. That was a pretty good football team.
Yes.
You know, they were competitive. Looked like there was some smacking around going out there. They were hitting you guys.
Yeah, they were. They were hitting us hard. they were hitting us hard. But
he was telling me that.
Yeah.
Then a switch just turned on. You know, we just.
Why do you think they kicked to you?
I honestly don't know.
We were sitting there and like,
people make mistakes, man.
Really? They actually kicked to him.
I really don't know. I was so happy when I got that kick though. I was like, oh, I'm taking this. I had to.
Your eyes were about this big. I could see you from the stands. It was awesome. It's like you had to think that for a second. Holy crap, they're kicking it to him.
Yeah, I was like, I can't believe they kicked it. And I just started running. So
yeah. No, I honestly, I think that as a group, I think that was your best game.
Yeah, I honestly do too. I think our like focus on going into that game was we don't have anything to lose, you know, not really. Because like everybody expected us to lose, I feel like, just because we've been there in that situation so many times and didn't fall through. But then that game we refused to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good way to put it, because you know the Aliquippa game was tough. That had to be a tough game for you guys to swallow. I mean, that was difficult.
Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
It really was, because you know you guys played a pretty good football game. You know, there were a couple of things all bounced a different way. I mean, you guys were in that game. You played very, very well against that team.
Yeah, it happens. You know, you can't win them all. Not at all.
Did you go in this year thinking with something to prove?
Yes.
After that?
Yes, 100%. Because I feel like our head in the Aliquippa game was we're not losing. Like we beat Thomas Jefferson twice. We went undefeated.
Right.
You know, we were just cocky, and we just thought we couldn't be beaten. But Aliquippa did that. Yeah.
Well, again, that's a pretty good club too.
Yeah, they are.
You know, so that was one of those games that whoever got the breaks was going to win that game. I mean, I don't think talent either way decided that game. I think it was who got the breaks, who made. There was one play here or there, but you know. So I thought you were both very evenly matched. You know,
I do too. I would never say that they were better than us. I just feel like they wanted it more, and like you said, they had the breaks, they had the big plays.
Sure. So this year you get kind of. Get that monkey off your back, right? You get the whippeal, and you know I was at the game in '95. My oldest daughter was a cheerleader at that game, so I was there. So all that time, longer than you've been alive, right? So we get that monkey off our back as not only as a team, as a school, but as a community. Right? Because listen, those TJ folks, they're hard on us, right? I mean, even in the stands, we had just taking some stuff up there, you know. So then we go into the state playoffs, and that was new territory, right?
It was. You know, I wasn't used to the state playoffs at all because I've never gotten that far the whole high school career. But when we got there, it was just I wouldn't say like anything was different. We were still playing football, and I just feel like we were going for something more this time.
Yeah. Were your practices the same? So you guys didn't change anything up? Nothing different?
Not at all.
One thing that did change was the temperature.
Oh,
It got cold, boy. It got cold there.
That is for sure.
Those games were very, very cold, you know. But we all stuck it out, though.
yeah, and the practices got longer. I've never played football that long. We played, 15 weeks?
Yeah,
15
you
weeks
guys
of football.
went pretty far into December. That's a lot of football.
Yeah, so it was definitely getting used to, but we got the result we wanted.
You
at the
did.
end.
You did. Tell me about that play right there.
That play is legendary because they fumbled twice, 2 times, like the play prior to the actual fumble and then the play before that. But the refs didn't call it.
Yeah.
So we were all pretty mad because we thought we lost the game because of the refs, like they didn't call the fumble.
Right.
So something just came, and then Adam LeCart and Chase Raconin just came and crushed the line. It was like insane. Like I saw it. They just came and crushed them, and then Anthony Cruz, the ball's out as you can see in that picture, and he grabs it. And then
I've seen that play a million times. I was there. I saw that, but I've never seen that angle.
Man.
That is pretty cool, and I really can't
That's
see
a great angle, right?
It
there.
is, yeah.
Like, I'll tell you what, if Cruz got loose to be able to get open on that boy was running to the locker room.
Oh, there's no doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt.
he was out.
I mean, that boy was gone there. So that was big.
Yeah,
It
that
was
play.
huge. Well, and you basically won a state championship on the defensive side of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Defense wins championships.
But you like defense, I heard.
I do. I honestly do. But I've been thinking about it a lot, and I think that the offensive side is where I'm more of a threat. Mm-hmm. I feel like I can get to the end zone every play if I wanted to.
Yeah.
So
that was my next question. Do you feel like every time you touch the ball, you have a chance to score?
Yes, 100%. I do. That's just my headset. That's just who I am. When I'm on that field, I don't think anybody can stop me.
I'm sure the coach was happy to hear that because that's what I would want you to do.
Yes.
I would want you to have that mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Every time you take it to the house, every single time you touch it.
Exactly.
That's why you're there.
Yes, sir.
So has your uncle's experience with the game, with sports in general, has that helped you? Do you guys ever have any conversations about, not so much, back in my day, but, he knows X's and O's. He's a sharp guy. How is that, him having that experience helped you?
I mean, to be honest, I feel like my uncle honestly expects it, because he did it, my dad did it.
Yeah.
And it's not that big of a surprise, but we do have our arguments about who was better and whose team was better back then. And it's nonstop. My aunt can tell you. And when my cousin Logan was back in the house, it was even worse. Yeah. So
I'm sure. Menneson was pretty good back then.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a different type of football back then.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Played in dirt.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a grass field, but there was no grass. It was the grass made it till maybe first week of October.
Right.
It was gone.
I definitely will say that as far as in some of the things that are going on the field, and I try to give him key points to look out for and make sure that you keep pumping your legs. Just give him little tips on that, and knowing that when he's going against some of these schools, that some of these kids are not going to be as big as you are, so they're going to try to go for your legs. So you got to use that stiff arm. You got to make sure that you get outside as quick as possible, and be a team player. I mean, that's the biggest thing is everybody would like to see, a lot of people would like to see Quentin get the ball more, but I like to see the team player that he is.
Yes.
And that's one thing.
How I feel about that. That's big.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that's one thing that I think that a lot of folks have to understand, that the element of Belle Vernon football and sports overall is it's a team effort. He can get the ball 4 times and go and have a Gatorade, and his team picks up right where he was at. Yeah. So I guess you could say that the weight is lifted off of his shoulders, you know?
Sure.
And because you know what, like I'm a real big Jericho fan. Like I always have been. Oh my gosh, that
what a
boy,
tough kid, man.
I have always
I mean,
I always told him when he was a freshman, like this kid, he has it.
He runs
Oh my,
hard.
he runs hard. And
I'm serious.
And I would be in the crowd and I would tell other people, like, you ain't see this kid, don't get in his way. And I'm like, because this kid, he runs through walls. And you know, that's nice.
And he's not a big guy.
Right.
I mean, but he just throws everything he has into that line, man. He's a tough
He's very
kid.
humble. And the fact that Quentin can actually take more of a break off and
Right.
block, and the focus, like Humbert does a very good job where give Quentin the ball, and switch it up, and here come Braden.
Yeah.
You know, here come Braden, all of a sudden here goes Jericho. So he has so many different weapons and different ways to approach it that you never know what's going to go on, because there's just so many talented kids out there and there's upcoming talent there. So, and that's like, you know, that can bring down his stress level, so he doesn't have to feel like I have to do this every time. So when he doesn't get that big gain, he has another player that will do it.
That's exactly right. Well, wasn't there was a when what was it, your sophomore year when it was last year when you got hurt and Jake went in and had like a 200-yard game?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean that was, you know, when your best player goes down like that, a kid with your ability, and then somebody comes out and runs for 200 yards. I mean, that's crazy.
They don't. The other teams seem to. That's where they're lacking. They try to gear up to going against Quinton Martin. That's not how this is. You're not going against Quinton Martin. You're going against the Belle Vernon Leopards, and they have talent, and they can attack you any
Except
way.
any coaches that are watching this, Quentin's a one-man gang. There's nobody else but him.
Right, nobody else, right? You know, so
But you're right. I mean, it's, you know, and listen, you're right. There is some talent come up. You got some sophomores, some freshmen, and there's that middle school team is done really well. So this program's in pretty good hands.
Right.
I mean, it should be after you even go on to the next level.
Yes, sir. 100%.
That is very cool. That is very cool. So what is without prying too deep, what's a day in the life at home? What's it like when you start off? He's getting ready to go to school. You got other ones, and like I said, Caleb's my man. He's just, you know, he's a character all his own. What's morning routine like?
Waking them up before I leave for work. You know, I get up, get moving, and I knock on doors and make sure that they're up and ready. And if I get that I'm late phone call from the school, that means
No phones.
no phone at
No
night.
phone?
You bring the phone up
Nice.
at night and you leave it up where we can see it.
Yeah.
And they seem to get up the next morning.
Yeah.
Yes,
on
magically
time.
works.
Man,
They
it
somehow.
get
works.
to work on time.
wonders.
Yeah, so it's just, you know, they do pretty good at getting off themselves. But I make sure I wake them up before I leave.
Structure's important.
Absolutely.
everything.
And
Structure's important.
Need
that's
that in
one
life,
thing
you know?
we keep to at my house is
You know,
structure.
We can be late for work. I mean, we got to be there on time, right?
Absolutely.
If we have to be there a certain time, we got to be there. It can't be like, you know, I don't feel like getting up yet. I'm gonna
Right.
sleep, you know, so
Right.
it's
Right.
something that's lessons
Right.
that have to be learned now. That's where that structure is so important.
Yes.
Yeah, I think the afternoon is a little bit more hectic than our mornings.
Is that
Our
right?
mornings go a little bit smoother, and when we come home from work and they all come home from school, and this one's going here and this one's going there, and just making sure that
And everybody is hungry, but everybody wants to eat something different.
Yeah.
That's how that goes.
too.
Oh yeah.
That's how that
too.
goes. We need to get like a menu and put it on there. What's going on today?
Yeah.
Just so that the kids know exactly what it is.
Well,
But,
that's old school stuff because nobody ever asked me what I wanted.
No.
Yeah.
You know,
You got
my
what was
mother,
there.
my mother made dinner, and that's what it was. They would know, like,
and
do you
that's
want
what if he or I cook, that's what it is. And
Yeah.
if you don't like it,
Don't eat.
you
Or
make
eat
something
something
yourself.
else.
fend for yourself, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But just make sure the kitchen's clean before you go to bed.
There you go. You have chores? You have
Yes.
chores you have to
Oh.
do?
I do have
Absolutely.
chores. I have a lot. I walk the dogs. I clean the kitchen. I clean the bathroom. Clean
Look
up
at you.
Yeah, clean up the dog poop. Clean my room. Do my laundry. You know, so I have a lot of chores. Wipe down the appliances.
So with all that stuff you got going on, you're still just a regular kid. You still got to do your thing, and
Exactly.
you know.
Yeah.
And grades are most
Yeah,
important.
grades
Yes.
is most important.
No, I understand, and again, I don't know, but I understand you're doing pretty well academically.
Yes, I am.
Okay,
I am.
good for you.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Now, do you do you have, like some kids, you know, just naturally can do things, right? And not just physically, but also up here, you know, and don't have to study, can show up, take a test, and do well.
That is not how I work at all. At all. I can't just
Not at all.
learn it. I mean, math is, I like math. That's probably my second favorite.
Okay.
You know, because I can like get taught it and then I know exactly what I'm doing.
You retain it. You keep it.
Yes, exactly. But most of the other subjects I have to actually study and put in an effort to get to learn it.
Okay.
For sure.
Cool. So I remember a game, and tell me who it was, where you basically, Coach Humbert used you as a decoy. It was a state playoff game. Who was it?
Central Martinsburg, I think.
Central Martinsburg.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you barely touched the ball.
Oh,
You know, and
2 times, I think.
Yeah, and I'm sitting up there in the stands, and it's like, what the heck's going on? Why this stuff? People were yelling and screaming, and honestly, talking to Coach, I mean, he did what the defense dictated to him,
Exactly.
right? But he told me that the greatest thing about that game was that you didn't complain one time about not having the ball. You supported your teammates. You were out there. You were cheering them on. You were blocking, doing what you needed to do.
Yeah. I mean, Coach told me in advance, you know, that I wasn't going to be getting the ball because he knew what their defense was going to be set up like. He knew that they were going to be keyed on me majority of the time. So obviously he wasn't going to give me the ball. But I knew that we had other threats. Braden, Jake,
Braden stepped
Colton
up back
Lee.
there.
Oh,
Exactly.
my.
Braden stepped up.
Exactly.
That was,
He broke out the cage on that one.
Yes,
we
he
don't
did.
we don't win that game without Braden.
Oh, that boy. You know,
100%.
I tell you that, like I said before, I go back to that there are more assets on that field besides Quentin. Then that's why what makes this program so good is that he can actually be a more of a participant and assist with his teammates than being, oh, I got to do this, I got to run the ball, you know, because whenever Braden was out there, I mean, I don't know what happened, but what they put in his Cheerios, but this kid was going crazy out there, man.
How about how he improved over the course of the year from the first game to the last game?
Absolutely.
I mean, you know, listen,
Huge.
when people that criticized you guys coming out of the gate when we had those couple of tough games, nobody said anything about you playing a first-year quarterback who had never taken a varsity snap before.
Exactly. It's a whole new team. You know,
Right.
from my freshman and sophomore year to my junior and going to be senior year, it's a whole.
And the
completely
offense was
new team.
completely different.
Exactly.
You know, you had Dev. Dev was a unique weapon, right? So obviously the offense was what it was.
Yes.
Braden's not that.
Yes.
You know, so you had to switch that up. And so getting used to all that and getting him comfortable, you know, but you guys, when you gelled as a team, you were scary good. No, I mean it. You were scary good. I think the last few regular season games and into the playoffs, I think you guys could have competed at every level. I'm not saying you'd have won every level, but you would have competed at every level. 5A, 6A, didn't matter. I think you guys would have been competitive because you guys were playing on a level that was way up here from where you started. I mean, you guys climbed that mountain together, and you were clicking on all cylinders, man.
100%. I agree with you. You know, me personally, I don't think any team in the Whippeal could beat us now that I think about it. You know, like going into my senior year, that's my confidence.
I see. That's dude. You're saying everything right as far as I'm concerned. Because if I'm sitting here and you're my guy, I want you saying that. I don't want you to shy away from that stuff.
Yes.
Because you can say that and still put your arm around your teammates and bring them with you.
Exactly.
Right. Nobody gets left behind.
Yes,
That's the key. How do you get that already at your age? Because you'll get it.
I was taught that, you know. I was taught that confidence is key by my uncle, my aunt, my coaches, just growing up, you know, and just being on that field. You can't just be scared. You can't go out there with a scary attitude because then you're going to get hurt or destroyed. So
Yeah.
I grew into that, and I was taught by my peers.
Good stuff. Wow. Listen, what I'm hearing is exactly what I thought I was going to hear. And I mean, you're very transparent. You are who you are. You don't put a different face on, Quentin, when you're out in public. I mean, you're you. You just show up. You show up as you, and that's that.
Yes, sir.
That takes a lot of confidence. That takes some heart. That's a big deal.
It does. It does. Thank
That's
you.
a big
I really
deal.
appreciate it.
You know, and hide behind that. You know, because it's so easy to put on a mask and hide,
Yeah.
and keep that stuff, in the background. But you're like that.
Yeah.
You don't make any any assumptions or anything. You just you show up and you do you, and
Go
Just
with the
be
flow.
who you are.
Yeah.
Just be who you are. And if people don't like it, too bad.
that's exactly right.
That's
If
all
they
it
don't
is.
like it, those weren't your people.
Exactly.
Exactly.
If you go out, you be authentic, your people are going to find you.
Yes, sir.
That's the way it is. I learned that lesson the hard way, and I used to worry about what people thought of me. And I would try to adjust and show up and go out and do the things that I thought people expected me to do instead of just doing what I wanted to do. And that'll get inside your head. That'll mess with you. That'll get inside your head.
Yes, sir.
So do you ever worry about stuff like that? Do you ever worry about, it's like, oh man, what if I do this, people are going to think this?
I used to, not as much anymore. I'm starting to just trust my gut more.
There you go.
And just express myself a little bit more and tell people how I truly feel and just be me, because I don't really like being fake. I don't like fake people. So I'm just me. Honestly, it's hard to explain. I don't really know how to explain that. That's just
No, that's it right there. What you just said.
yeah.
Just be Quentin. That's all you have to be. You don't ever got to be anything else.
Yes, sir.
I think you get some of that from you.
Yeah. I would say so. Yeah.
Right.
It's you guys. Your aunt and uncle, right? And you've been raising them. You have interracial marriage, which there's a lot of. We still live in a world, unfortunately, where that's a thing.
Yes.
It makes me angry, but that's neither here nor there. That's another show. We'll do that show
Right,
later.
right.
But at the end of the day, you guys have raised a hell of a young man.
Thank you.
Okay. Now that's gotta make you proud a little bit, right? You get that right there?
Yeah, you know what? I would say that it definitely is nice to see that, he is focused on what he set out to do when he first told me. Yeah, I think it was his first year in middle school. And I asked him, I said, what is your goals and what do you want to do? And he kept saying, I want to be the best player around and I want to go to the next level and then the next level. I said, that's a lot. I said, but if you want to do it, you get on that train, you don't stop.
Yep.
And he said, well, that's what I want to do. And I said, well, we're here to support you by any means. This is what you're going to do. We're right with you. And it's nice to see that the Lord made it possible for him to be able to provide for our whole family and
Absolutely.
have that structure there.
Absolutely.
That means a lot, like we go back and say in the household, he is still nephew, and he's no different than any other kids. He gets in trouble just like the rest of them if he doesn't do what he's supposed to do. And that's the thing. We try to be transparent with the kids. We do not lie to the kids. We tell them exactly this is what it is. And like she said today, that as parents, you have to sit back and allow your kids to make the mistakes
That's hard.
sometimes, and that's hard.
That's hard.
That's
is
the
hard.
hardest part.
Yes,
the
it
hardest
is.
part is watching them make mistakes, even though you tried to guide them, and but that
Sure.
they have to make their own mistakes. But I will tell you, I think the best part of all of it is when somebody outside of your household tells you
Exactly.
how either good or respectful or kind one of our kids are. That means the most to us.
Yeah. Yeah.
When we hear that from someone outside, knowing that when we weren't around, this is how they are out
That's
there
pretty cool.
when we're not around. So
Yeah.
I think that's the best.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys are doing it right.
Doing the best we can.
Yeah.
That's all
You know
you
what I
can
mean?
do, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's it. Under the roof, we're all family there. And we all...
Family's family, man.
Right.
Right.
We have expectations from everybody in the house to do the right thing and do their best to their ability. And everybody in the household has dreams and wants, and we respect each other, And this is just one of Quentin's his goals in life, and at this point, we're looking at the academic side of the next level for him and seeing what kind of things he wants to get into. So getting the wheels moving and what his interest is. And he says he likes math. He says he's very comfortable with math. I'm not at all. but
math and history, both of them, math and history.
Math and history. See, so you start getting out. You start getting that wheel going.
That's good stuff.
Yeah, right. So that's one thing that we try to push with our kids, that you want to focus on an end game goal and get yourself a career. Everybody can get a job, but find yourself a career to where you're okay.
Big difference.
Exactly.
Something you like.
Something you enjoy.
Yep.
That's why I try to tell him, like, or our boy Logan.
How's Logan doing, by the way? I was going to ask you.
He's doing very well.
How's he doing?
He's doing very well. He actually went to Votech and he did electrical. And it was very easy for him, but he actually went down to Marietta. He's down there for sports medicine management, and he likes it. And he's playing ball down there too.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did you guys get to see any of his games?
Oh yeah. He was on special teams.
Another good kid. I mean, listen, you need to write a book, young man, both of you, because
a stressful book.
You're putting out. It is stressful.
Yeah.
Listen, I mean, Terry Lynn and I, we have 5 kids between us, 12 grandkids.
Right.
I mean, it's like
right.
And it's like a million different directions, and like you said, all you can do is the best you can and hope for the best. Right. Hope they're paying attention and that they're going
to be transparent with them.
Right.
That's what you have to be. Let them know, hey, if you go down this road, buddy, I can't guarantee that, but this is what may happen for you. Yeah. You can try this one. Here's the blue pill or the red pill. Which one do you want?
Right. That's exactly right.
And that's the thing that like now we're starting to see what our older kids that they're making good decisions with things.
Good.
And they communicate with us quite often when they're at school or they're at work or they're going from here to there, and that's nice because it's a level of respect. When one says, "Hey, I'm gonna go get some gas. I'm gonna go grab something to eat. Hey, I'll be home at this time." It's nice that communication is there, and that's what we try to have with them. We don't pry into their information, but they know that we care, and that's the biggest thing is that we try to stress to all of them that we love you all the same. Everybody in here gets their even share of pie. Everybody. When one's like, well, he didn't do this. Well, he didn't do that. Well, this is what he did do, so you did that. Oh, okay.
Sure. Sure.
So
that's cool.
We got a nice little system going on there. I would definitely say so. I honestly can't give my wife enough credit. She holds us together. Everything. I mean, she definitely does. Quentin can testify to that whenever it comes to
brother, that's great, but you didn't have to say that.
listen, I'm letting you know.
We already knew.
I'm just being honest with you. It's just like she puts it all together. Like whenever she has to go on like retreats or when she went on vacation, it was hard in the household, where there was no cooked meals going on, oodles and noodles and this and that. So, the kids were like, oh, can't wait till she comes back home. I'm like, what's going on? But I got it. So, she definitely is the glue to what we have going on.
Did you ever hear this term? Uncle outkicked his coverage with her. Did you ever hear that?
That's a first, but
and I'm going to tell you, I did the same thing. And a lot of us can say that. Trust me.
Right.
That basically just means you married up.
Right. Definitely. So,
Well, and that part of it is so important. And you said you really like math and history because, not all colleges are equal when it comes to their academics with certain things. Some schools are good at English, and some schools are good at engineering and math and science, so just because a school has, and I think I know the answer to this, but I don't see you compromising the academic side of things because you want to play ball for a certain uniform.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Can you repeat that one more time? Hold on, I need to hear the question.
Yeah, no. I say
Yeah.
a lot of people will settle one way or the other, right?
Yeah.
So if you really wanted to play for a certain team,
Yeah.
but didn't have a strong academic program and what you wanted, I don't think you're going to compromise that and say, well, I'll go to my second or third choice, and vice versa. Right? If there's a place where you really, really want to go that has a great program in what you want to study, but the team is not, the team dynamic that you were looking for. How do you think you find that balance, right? Because that's like
Good question.
That is a good question.
almost a needle in a haystack, right? Because again, schools are all so different. There's nothing cookie cutter about it.
Yeah, I wouldn't say there's really a school that has the best situation ever. I don't think any school has the best academics. I don't think one school is going to have an amazing
Just a
football
perfect-
team. Yeah, just a
perfect
perfect
situation.
Exactly. So, I just, when I look at that, I'm just going to go off what my heart feels and where I think I'm going to be the best suited at. You know what I mean?
That's where the truth is.
Yes.
That's the truth.
Yes.
And seriously, when I started to write, I had a mentor of mine. I've been in the engineering business for 40 years, right? Very technical, very stressful. And guy was my boss, wound up becoming a really good friend. He said, bought me a journal, just a little journal. And he said, put this on your nightstand at night.
Yeah.
When you wake up in the morning, before you do anything, before you get out of bed, pick that up and write your first thought. Whether it's a word, a sentence, a paragraph, 5 pages, right? Whatever is your first thought, because that thought comes from your heart. That's the purest, truest thought you'll have all day.
That's interesting.
Okay?
That is.
Because that's what you're carrying on your heart. That is your pure truth. So he said, then close it up, put it down, and go about your routine, do what you do. All right?
I like that.
Then at the end of the
too.
night, before you go to bed, open it up and read it and see if what you did that day was in alignment with what you wrote that first thought.
Wow.
Wow.
I like that.
That's deep.
And
Yeah,
that,
it's deep.
listen,
That's very deep.
that
Did it open your eyes? To,
it opened my eyes, probably damn near saved my life.
yeah.
Because we went through some stuff. Everybody goes through stuff, right?
Right.
But it makes you really understand, to your point of where your heart leads you. That's your truth, man. This is going to try to push you in a bunch of different directions, right? This is what follows the shiny, bright, shiny, cool thing, right? This is what sees the new car. This is what sees the big house. This is the truth. This takes you where you're supposed to be.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's good stuff. So let me ask you this. We'll get back to football. Is there one play in your high school career that jumps out at you when you think about, man, I've been doing this for 3 years. What's that one play that jumps out?
The kick return on TJ.
There you
my
go.
sophomore year. That's probably the most memorable play. Because the atmosphere was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't hear anything at all while I was running, and I look at the stands, they're all cheering, and I'm just in shock.
Yeah.
Wow, I love this. So
That is cool.
Yeah.
That is cool. 'Cause you have a gear that a lot of kids don't have, right? Because especially on kick returns, you look like you're just kind of gliding a little bit, and then all of a sudden, boom, everybody's chasing you. You're just gone, and it's it just kicks in,
Yeah, it's just patience. You got to let your blocks develop. My uncle told me that, let your blocks develop, and once you see that opening, just explode.
Take it.
Exactly.
That's good stuff, man. Because you're a long strider. You're tall.
Yeah.
You got a long stride, and guys like you that run like that have that running style. It doesn't look like you're running fast.
Yeah.
Sitting up in the stands, I thought it'd be faster now.
A lot of people think I'm slow and don't think I'm fast until
covering
they
up
get
a lot of
next
land.
to me.
Totally try to catch you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of land he's covering up right there.
You better believe it. Yeah, because even from a tailback's position, you're through the line in a couple of strides.
Exactly.
You don't. There's not a lot. Now that could be like I was an end, right? I've never played running back, but my thought is, because you've got that stride and you're so tall, you're at the line of scrimmage a lot quicker than say Devin Whitlock would have been, right? Dev had them short, stroppy strides, so he had more, I think, of an opportunity to see the play develop. But you're right on. You're there.
Yeah, it happened so fast. You know, I definitely do think I have an advantage when it comes to that, you know, because I take up so much space, like my uncle said.
Yeah.
But I just go. I just go. You can't think. You just got to do.
Just got to do. Just got to do. And you see the opening, and you have to bust it, right?
Yes, sir.
That's cool. That is cool. I was a 6'1", 130-pound wide receiver. I could run like a deer though because I was terrified.
Okay.
You know, I knew if I ran into somebody ran into me, it was going to hurt.
Yeah.
Right. I was going to get the bad end of that because you know it was. So man, I was fast, but people ask me, man, you don't look like you'd be fast, but I was terrified.
Yeah, just run for your life.
That's exactly what I did. I played on a team that was, you want to talk about 3 yards in a cloud of dust. I think 3 years of my high school, we threw about 6 passes total.
Oh, wow.
And I used to go out there and pray they wouldn't throw it to me because I didn't want no part of getting tackled. That wasn't going to happen.
That's less than us.
Yeah, we never threw the ball. Never, ever threw the ball. And we probably should have because we weren't very good. You know, I think the best record we had was like 5-4 or something like that, 5-5. But so next year.
Next year, with football?
You got a pretty tough schedule.
Yeah,
here.
we have the same exact schedule
Yeah.
as we did last year.
They're not going to be any gimme, especially in that first 4 games.
Exactly. I feel like our mentality going into next year is work even harder than we did the year before. That's all.
Keep chopping wood.
Exactly. Just keep going.
Yeah.
The job's
'Cause
not
I
finished
think
yet.
you guys get through those first 4 games healthy. Mm-hmm. I don't think anybody stops you.
At all.
I really don't. I'm telling you straight up. I don't think anybody beats you.
100%. We just got to keep going. We can't get above our bridges. Just got to keep playing our game and stay together.
Stay inside yourself.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
If you keep that locker room the way it was this year, the way you left it, okay? If you pick that up there and keep it there, you guys are going to be okay.
And I think it will be. I've been playing with this group of people since the 5th grade. The 5th grade. We won the championship then, and we plan on doing it again.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah, well, you didn't lose much. Mm-mm. You know, your core's back.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's you guys, and you know who I really think is underrated is Adam LaCarte.
He's a Division I safety.
Kid's a
eyes.
player.
Absolutely.
Hands down.
Kid's a
Absolutely.
player.
And he's huge.
He's a ball hawk. He'll hit you too.
100%.
I've known his dad and all his uncles for a long time, but I mean, yeah, he was really under the radar for a long time, but I think he got some attention, you know, especially in the playoffs.
For sure. For 100%. I think colleges should go at him this year because he's huge now.
Is he really?
Yeah, he's benching 315. I'm not
No
sure how
kidding.
much he's squatting, but he's just like a freak.
Good stuff.
So
Yeah, you guys are gonna be loaded for bear.
yes, sir.
I like it. Wow, this is. I'll tell you, I'm getting excited. I'm getting excited now. We should start now. So you guys been in the weight room and stuff. You're doing
Yes, we started lifting last week,
okay.
and we do it Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, right? Monday, Thursday.
Thursday, yes.
Okay.
So yeah, that's our schedule. And the middle school kids, they're coming up next week. They start on Monday, so
Good.
it's coming fast.
Yeah, it is. Won't be long. You guys, and then you'll be going into 7-on-7s and all that stuff. And
Coach Humbert kind of wants to start it sometime this month.
is that right?
Yeah, he wants to start doing something. He talked to the team. I forgot to tell you that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm not
He did.
surprised.
He's been talking to the team. He wants to get some team in West Virginia. I'm not sure, but he wants to start early this year.
No kidding. Good stuff. Well, you know, do you plan on going to any camps or anything?
No. I want to go on a couple of visits this upcoming off season, like the summer, but no camps.
That's good. That's good.
Yes, sir.
I was never when I was coaching basketball here. AAU wasn't what it is now, right? And now it's like if kids want to if they want to be seen by a college and get recruited to the right school, if you want to go to North Carolina or Duke or Kentucky, you got to play AAU. They hardly even come to high school games anymore.
Exactly. Yeah,
you know?
AAU's really big when it comes to basketball.
Yeah, when I was coaching, it was just starting out. You know what I mean? And that was, is there an equivalent type I don't know what's the word, league or whatever in football, but AAU is in basketball.
Yes, 7-on-7.
That's what that is?
Yes, that's basically AAU basketball.
Okay.
But you have to get, for both, like basketball and football, you have to get on a very good team, like a very good program to get noticed. And it's hard to do because the teams that are good are out in Texas or Florida, and they're like very far, and it's just hard to work out, honestly.
Yeah. Do you are you friends? Do you know any other kids, say top 30 kids in the country in your class?
Yeah, I played with KJ Bolden, and I played with Corey. I forget his last name. I played with Corey. He was I went up to Miami, and I was rooming with Corey, and I saw him play the whole weekend. He's something else. Like, he's a 2025 wide receiver, and he's just an athlete all around. He catches the ball. He can play defense. He can guard anyone. He's a big dude. He moves well. KJ, he's a ball hawk like Adam. He's ranked number 2 in the nation in my class. He's a safety, 5-star. So I know them pretty well. I talk to them.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
Cool, that's very cool. So, and I know this is just, and I'm asking for your preference because I know, it'll be what it'll be. But what, if you could pick, what position would you play at the next level?
As of right now, I'm running back.
Okay.
Yeah, running back has my heart. It has for a while.
There's some big, strong, fast linebackers at that level, man.
I know, but I want to get there too. I'll get there. Just give me some time.
You will.
He's working on tackling. That's where we're lacking at. Don't edit that part out. Keep that in there.
Well, Nick's pretty fast. You can tackle him. He'll practice with you.
Yeah.
No, but I kind of thought you would say that.
Yeah, I played running back my whole life. I've just always played it, and it just grew on me. Like last year I fell in love with corner because that was my first year playing it.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it and playing the game more, I feel like running back is where I thrive the most at.
Okay. So now you're about 200 pounds?
I'm 190 right now.
190.
Yes.
Okay. So when you're 16, you're young.
Yeah.
You're a young fella.
Yes.
So you're nowhere near done growing.
Not at all.
And you can look at, keep in mind, you got these genes right here.
Yeah.
Right? So let's just say you have a growth spurt this year. All right. And when the season ends, you're about 230. Is that going to change things for you? In your mind. I'm not talking about recruiters, coaches, anything like that. In your mind, does that change anything for you?
I think it will. I think at that point, I feel like I'll be more as a DN or a linebacker or even a safety. Definitely on defense. I don't think anybody that big should be on offense at all because... Dude,
I got to tell you, with your athleticism and your ball knowledge, at that size, you'd be one of them scary linebackers.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, and those guys make a nice buck in the league too.
Yeah, they do. They do. You get, Michael Parsons.
Yeah, Penn State guy, right? So, well, that's interesting. Anything can happen. I mean, I've known guys that in over a summer grew 6-7 inches. Yeah, had a growth spurt, and so, but that's something that.
I get any taller than this, I might as well be a basketball player.
That's for sure. That is for sure. There's a lot of people out there who love to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll be playing basketball next year. I think I'm going to focus on football and, just getting bigger and just getting better at what I'll be doing in my future in college.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, at that point, there's a lot at stake, right? I mean,
I get injured, then what?
Exactly. I mean, this was 10th, 11th grade, you're an athlete playing hoops. It makes perfect sense, right? But, I don't think anybody blame you for that. That's what you should do. Yes, sir. You had be time to focus on you. Yes. Especially if you go deep again, if you go all the way, I mean, again, play another 15-game season.
This year, just the transition from football and basketball, it was just like we were satisfied. So I don't think that competitiveness was there for basketball as much as it was for football.
That's interesting.
Just due to the fact that we already won the state championship. Right. And that, like, the progression to get there, it was just so, it was such a grind. Yeah. And it was just nonstop. So I feel like we were tired and satisfied.
Well, see, that's a great observation because, like I'm a basketball guy, right?
Mm-hmm.
When I look at that team, wow,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, what's going on here? And that's immediately what I thought because you had a lot of football kids on that team.
Yes, we do. And I don't feel like our head was there. Not this year. Mm-hmm. Like sophomore and freshman, it was completely different. I know because we lost. We didn't get to the point where we wanted to get. But junior year, now that we won the state, then now we didn't care as much, I would say.
Well, and I think, you had to be physically tired, number one. A little beat up.
Exactly.
And then, again, like you said, satisfied.
Yes.
That's a big deal. Mm-hmm. You got 2 medals, not just one.
Exactly.
And you got the big one that nobody else has.
Yes.
Right? So that's understandable. That's totally understandable. And it really, if people would take a breath and take a look at it, your 16-year-old kids, it's totally understandable.
Yes.
So just to circle back and close up here, you've been on a heck of a journey. You have been on one heck of a journey, all of you, right? I mean, this has been a family thing. This hasn't just been you.
Yes.
The whole family's been with you on this. All right. So you guys ready for what comes next?
We're getting there. I mean, we're ready as far as, looking. We're looking. We're getting ready. We're ready for what is ahead, but we're not done. We still have a ways to go with Quentin and assist him and stand by his side, getting him to where he decides to go and what decision he decides to make. And, we can only guide him. It's at the end of the day, it's his decision where he wants to go, but we can, guide him and help weed out, some things, and just looking forward to
the next adventure.
the next
Yeah.
the next step in
One
his journey.
step at a time.
Things are getting serious now, so I'm looking forward to what the future holds for me. Most definitely.
More detail in the details in it. On these trips that we have had the opportunity to take so far, it's we know it's they have a football team there. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
But we're looking at the academics, the living quarters. As far as in
You've
his
always
footsteps.
said that to me.
Right.
When we've talked, you've always said that.
Right. It's the footsteps, and we want to see what a day for Quentin would be like on this campus. So that's where we're at with this. I don't need to go to another game or anything like that at all. Right. We need to see the student side, the student athlete side of things. So this is where when we talk to these schools and these coaches, this is what we like to have a conversation about, and a lot of these schools are starting to get in line and prepare for these conversations and get their wheels moving on that.
Right.
As the athlete, we know. As a student, we need to see what can you offer him as a student athlete.
Sure.
So that's where we're at with this point right here. And I think that would be a major takeaway and a key factor on the decision that he decides where he would like to go to.
Mm-hmm. Sure. I mean, that's, because the key here is student athlete, right?
Yep.
Yes, and it's never athlete student. It's always student athlete.
Absolutely.
That comes first.
100%.
That comes first.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, I'm so happy we were able to make this happen. You guys, Quentin, it's been great. Thank you, man. I wish you all the best. I'll be there. I'll be. I think my seats are like right on the 30-yard line. I'll wave it next time you're running past for a touchdown.
Yes, sir.
But thank you very much, young man. You're everything that I thought you would be as advertised, and I appreciate you. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And you guys, listen, I got to tell you something, and I'm not going to but it's an honor to know you guys. It's an honor to be a friend. You guys do it right. You do it right.
Thank you.
And that's the bottom line. You have my respect.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
100%. So thank you for joining us. And listen, man, good luck. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Let's do this again.
We will.
All right.
And we will, after you make your decision, we'll come back.
Oh,
We'll have you back maybe after the next state championship, right?
Sounds good.
Next year.
There you
Yes,
go.
sir.
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
All right.
All right.
Thank you, young man.
Thank you.
Thank y'all.